Friends, I'm switching to the camera so you can draw and enjoy the lines. And maybe I'll manage to say, oh, something new. I really feel like it. Actually, I want to draw a tree with its roots facing upwards, but probably not today because it needs some thought. In fact, to implement any algorithm, I personally make about 30 drawings of this algorithm. I'm experiencing reflection. In our current conditions, we are already creating such a story to be able to test the algorithm's actions on devices, that these algorithms are not born just like that. An algorithm is always a whole good piece of work. Here is one of the latest trees drawn. I continue to nurture it. By the way, a good picture doesn't happen immediately. This is especially important for beginners to know. But now we probably need to ask ourselves the tree. What do we want to draw? Because in neurographics, as you know, as you remember, every picture has a theme. I asked myself, today I would set a theme called International Project. And since this is our first international broadcast, I want to take and write 20 words on the theme International Project. So together, and you draw whatever you want. I know the popular tree of prosperity, career tree, family tree. So draw whatever you like. I will draw such a tree, a global tree. 2 minutes to write 20 associations that come to your mind on your theme. 3-4 time starts now. Drawing planet, the last words. Stop. Drawing planet, let it be there. I want movement, how we can improve life on the planet. How are you more and more dedicated to this idea? Well, what is important now? So if we set out to draw a neurotree, colleagues, such a simple idea. Let's try to implement it. Initially, try to draw a neurotree with 2 lines. That is, one line, here goes the left root. Somewhere it transitions into the vertical, the trunk. Diverges into some branch, and somewhere there they appear. Some fruits. And on the other side, the same thing, a root, branch, some kind of fruits. And in this sense, it's the most minimalist drawing because in what we, of course, all know about neurographics, it's a quantitative method, meaning the more lines, the better. But in art, why is it better? Because the number of lines is collection, it's intellect, it's gathering thoughts. Here, for example, in this drawing, there are only two thoughts, but two thoughts that define the silhouette, which determine in art the concept of minimalism exists. That is, when we can express an idea with a small number of lines. And when we have expressed the idea, created the contour, the image appears, the silhouette, then we can continue to develop it, fill it in, and gradually connect the neural networks. Due to the fact that where thoughts intersect, where lines intersect, we create rounding. And also when we, as artists, and today we have such an artistic celebration because we are celebrating the algorithm itself. Well, you know, when I started, honestly, it was even hard for me to imagine that anyone could repeat my composition a large number of times. And here it's just millions of times, and with such benefit each time. In this sense, our art, which I like to initiate and create, is not about endlessly examining others' works, but about endlessly repeating others' positive experiences. After all, this is what it means to be human. Because any successful person is someone who endlessly repeats others' successful experiences. The only difference between us is which experiences we repeat. And in the process of repeating others' successful experiences, we develop what is called stylization. How would I do it in my own way? How to adapt others' successful experiences to one's own life? Well, essentially, this is how human evolution and human society are structured. That's why humans eventually became what is called, in my opinion, a somewhat trite term, but nonetheless, the king of nature. Before that, the lion was the king of nature. So the king of beasts, and here comes the human. But that's because we know how to repeat others' experiences. And here it's the same. We keep repeating this algorithm over and over, but it always has a very personal experience. And performance, this unique twist. What is performance? It's a dramatic turn in the development of events. Dramatic, meaning it takes us out of the communal path, out of the communal rut. And when we set a neurographic line, each time we have a dramatic turn of the line, because it is unexpected, but dramatic, not tragic, because it is rounded, because it is ultimately beautiful, because it enlivens our intellect. I mean, this has already become an eternal discussion about artificial intelligence. It is currently the most popular, and accordingly, for some reason, a lot is said about artificial intelligence and few talk about natural intelligence. And our task is to awaken natural intelligence, simply natural. After all, it is given to each of us, and in fact, it is great in everyone. It seems to me that the need for artificial intelligence is simply because people are very weak, or have spent little time, or have not found the tool until they appeared. We are with you on how to awaken natural intelligence, how to mobilize it. After all, it is a very big task to mobilize your brain, to mobilize your unconscious, and as if people in the process of evolution are moving further away from themselves, and yet they are inventing more and more things externally. And functions that should be in the brain are suddenly handed over to the computer. But life cannot be calculated. A computer will still remain a computer because it simply calculates quickly, but it only calculates what already exists. It is not capable of creating unique forms. A computer has no intuition. And what is a neurotree? Well, a neurotree is, of course, working with intuition, like everything in neurographics. It is the awakening of the deep layers of the psyche, the stimulation of unused neurons, the creation of new neural connections. And of course, always working with intuition when unconscious knowledge and unconscious motives are awakened, but at the same time, it acquires the forms that we set for it, those qualities. And the quality of the tree is, of course, growth from the bottom up. It is, of course, the pursuit of knowledge. Again, because upwards and knowledge, happens somehow. Except for those speleologists, everyone else engages in knowledge upwards, meaning they want to know more and more. Volume, and the sprawling, this very crown of the tree, is the growing volume of knowledge, among other things. No one has it such that one branch reaches upwards and everything is already good and sufficient there. No, a person looks wider and wider and wider. And the wider they have seen, the wider they want to see next time. That is informational volume. The crown symbolizes informational volume, among other things. Oops, Zara wrote to me that I am a genius of our time. Thank you very much. The symbol of Islam is also a plane tree, a tree with a thick trunk, wide, fertile branches. Very nice to know. Greetings, Sunny DGI. Familiar places in Maykop and its surroundings in Vladivostok. I really love us for our expansiveness, the crowns of neurographs. We have already covered the whole world. Our roots are, generally speaking, understandable. Culture, science, art, philosophy, psychology. We have very interesting roots in neurographics. At the trunk level, all instructors, all specialists to whom the tree is entrusted to grow come together. You know, what concerns me the most is the growth in the quality of knowledge and specialists. And instructors always want to provide more information, more teaching, but with specialists, since there are so many more of them, I am always very concerned about how qualitatively the specialists convey what they are entrusted to convey. Because the more specialists there are, the more people learn about neurographics, try neurographics. And here, of course, the quality of drawing, the quality of text, the quality of the knowledge that people provide is fundamentally important. But at the same time, it must be said that neurographics itself is like a young tree. That is, we are only 10 years old and the 11th year of life is not yet over. Yes, indeed. In this sense, our specialists are young, our instructors are young, and we are all very young. And the Neurotree, well, essentially neurographics is very young because psychoanalysis has existed for over 100 years. Analytical psychology as well. In general, psychology is a science that is new from the perspective of scientific rigor. From the perspective of everyday psychology, it has always existed. Shamanism is the transpersonal aspect of psychology. Any form of power is the managerial aspect of psychology. But the scientific part is very young. And the fact that we apply, gather psychological knowledge, and are able to somehow implement it in some form is a significant contribution to the development of the entire science. That means, and to people, so here for me, each branch is probably continents, and the fruits are probably the countries where neurographics will develop. I wrote for myself for neurographics to develop. For some reason, it came out to 46 languages for me. So far, we are working, I think, in 8 languages worldwide. But to translate all this and let people live in 46, and I want people in their own languages to be able to study this universal knowledge. The tree does not belong to any one nation. The tree belongs to everyone. Neurographics also belongs to humanity and does not belong to any particular nation. Although, of course, I am pleased that it originally exists in the Russian language due to the nature of the language, because the language itself is capable of describing such things. Each language is adapted to different things. Language is capable of writing different things. The Russian language, in my opinion, is capable of writing about culture and art, which is why there is such rich literature. A great deal of extensive humanitarian knowledge, even philosophy in Russian sounds like literature, unlike in other languages, which is very intriguing. Therefore, we continue the tradition of international communication, universal communication. The world should not be uniform. Hello from Munich. Hello, Monana. Neuroscientist Elizaveta. The drawing family is fire. Hello from California. Greetings to Vladivostok. Come on, colleagues. It's very interesting. Our international roll call is always like this. Today, I'm interested in not even touching color. I really love giving drawing skills to specialists and users. Monochrome, when using one color. In tonality, in some shadowy things, we convey such harmony. In this sense, monochrome work. I know that today there will be many, many neurotrees drawn all over the world. We are posting them today. They can be seen online. So to speak, in international networks, many trees can be seen. And monochrome is when you essentially use one color. It's very graphic. Lately, I've been saying a lot that when we draw neurographics, we must always remember that we are artists. We are psychologists, we are coaches, and that's all very good. But the most important craft part, which determines the quality of a specialist, a professional, is the artistic part. And therefore, we must understand that we are dealing with graphics. And the language of graphics is the line and the spot. Therefore, on one hand, we need to constantly refine our neuroline. And when I see that someone has already written that they have learned to draw, I, like a good parent, smile, because year after year, month after month, week after week, I refine, find new sensations of the line. It's such an immersion, into being this line, constantly sharpening, sharpening, sharpening it. There is no limit without you, as if to perfection, although it seems very simple, try drawing it perfectly the first time. No one has ever managed. I remember my first attempts at a spot, and a spot means some kind of little stroke. It means being able to somehow reflect a shadow, being able to somehow express volume. And it emerges from this visible world, or rather the visible world, turns out to be just a combination of lines, silhouettes, and spots that carry various depths. Shadows, the depth of understanding, if you will, or depth and concealment. Concealment, right? What is a shadow? It's the hidden part, it's a mystery. And this combination of the amount of mystery, the amount of secrecy in the shadow, and the amount of knowledge in the light, that is, in the illuminated part, this is a beautiful, always a declaration of how the unconscious reflects the idea it depicts. Even now, as I draw, I understand, where it's dark, where there are spots, that's the area that still needs to be illuminated. And the rest is what already exists. A couple of days ago, in another practice, I was drawing a family tree. Wow, what synchronization. So wonderful. The more I draw, the more I realize that there's still so much to learn. These are holy people, as they say. Sochi, New Garden, Barcelona, Astana, Kazakhstan. Hooray! A snowy greeting from Astana. Friends, I congratulate all of us on the fact that we exist. Truly, isn't it a wonderful miracle that we all belong to some growing community? And in general, our community is like a wonderful garden. People from different countries, people of different cultures, people of different religions, people of different languages, people of different ages, people of different generations, if you will. And we are all slowly coming together. And I somehow don't remember us having any kind of, for some reason, being hostile. I have a feeling that people who place aesthetics, that is beauty, as a value, one of the fundamental values in life, fundamentally do not harbor hostility. Conflict and hostility fade away. When you engage in and develop beauty within yourself and around you. Today Plato, as a reminder, serves for the third time. But it was indeed the case that the knowledge of truth is through beauty. The beauty of the body, then the beauty of the soul, then the beauty of thought, and then beauty itself. As such, truth is this beauty, and whenever we come to a sense of beauty, we experience a state of truth. What an interesting philosophical idea. But if you are not an artist, if you are not a dancer, if you are not a musician, where will you encounter this beauty? Then you become a consumer of beauty. But perhaps you truly see beauty when you create it. Then it is in your hands. Then it shines through your body, not just a witness to someone else's beauty. Although observing beauty created by someone else's hands or through someone else's creativity is also a good idea, certainly better than watching destruction, ugliness, and so on. So today, a hymn to beauty, a hymn to the Neurotree, a hymn to truth, a hymn to us. And the Neurotree is about our unity. The Neurotree is about our collective growth. The Neurotree is about the fact that, life goes on with various adversities. Every time they scare us, if not with a virus, then with some kind of computer. By the way, we were already afraid of computers 30 years ago. We just forgot that the computer would remove everyone from their jobs. No, nothing. Everyone still has their jobs. The computer is there to help. The same goes for this artificial intelligence. Don't be afraid of it, friends. It's all just rumors to scare people with something. Draw the tree and live a real human life, a biological life. The main thing is for the cell to breathe, and a person always invents something else, unlike various machines that are incapable of anything except increasing speed of their own processes. But a person is alive, natural growth. And this is not an artificial tree, this is living natural growth. And today it is like this. I doubt I'll draw 2 or 3 more trees today. 1 tree a day generally might be enough. It doesn't take that much time, about 20 minutes of beautiful shading. Beautiful shading and everything becomes very nice. There's also the question when drawing neurotrees of how to express the figure and the background. Well, on one hand, there's simply this movement of air, right, which is the figure and the background. Just this movement of air, an awareness of the environment in which everything is located. Sometimes other trees start to be drawn in the background, which is also normal. Or there, as we've seen in illustrations sent to us by fellow artists, there are some fairy tale plots like the fox, the crow, and the cheese. All of this also took place on the tree. The crow without the cheese, forest with cheese, and the tree stands as it stood. Everything changes, fairy tale plots change, but the tree grows as it always has. So long live the tree. The sanatorium is beautiful, as it sounds. The sanatorium is beautiful. Belgorod region, peace at home. Peace to the common home. Peace to the common home. Well, I don't know right now how many people are on the broadcast. I know that we exist simultaneously in different networks. I think there are several hundred of us right now. And each little tree, it's together. Today we are creating such a big garden. For me, the indicator of the day, it will be the number of broadcasts conducted by our wonderful instructors in different countries, in different languages, which will also gather. It's interesting to see how many trees we will plant today. And I really want to know this statistic to let people know how much we have enriched our collective unconscious. Today, right now, there are 500 of us on the broadcast, writes Anastasia, our project curator. So 500 people, 500 trees in an hour, you understand. With meaning, with conversation, with love, with emojis, with all kinds of positive thoughts. My friends, I wish for you that everything living grows, everything good grows, that goodness increases, that truth increases. As we create beauty together, thank you for simply responding to this call for a beautiful world. Because other calls have turned political for me. But the call for beauty is somehow the most spiritual and human at the same time. Where there is no personal gain, there is simply the benefit of dissolving in beauty. In the creation of beauty, where there is beauty, there is no place for evil. And that is fundamental. So my friends, have a good day, good trees, and wonderful moods. A great abundance. Fruits, so that life is fruitful. Because without fruits, life is dull. What is a tree without fruits? A tree without fruits does not propagate. A person who does not achieve results becomes despondent. So you simply need to incorporate results into your needs. You understand the need for the results of labor, as there are people who are looking for work. But there are a huge number of people who do not seek results at work, who do not strive for results. And I wish everyone, I advise everyone, I will probably stop here, following me. Our German group led by Valeria Nolte will be on air. And I bid you farewell. I'll show you my face once more. Otherwise, you'll say Piskarev didn't want to show himself. He was hiding his face. I'll tidy up. Here's the bow tie, the tie. That's all. Friends, my wonderful people, happy holiday to you. This is how we can create a wonderful celebration for ourselves on a weekday. To be festive, in fact, you don't need too much. No need to set tables, no need for special clothes. You need to awaken your spirit so that your eyes sparkle, so that your hands itch for work, for life, for hugs. All the best to you.